Some of the most powerful niches in the e-commerce landscape, and honestly in business in general, are the niches where there's huge pain points that you can solve. And in today's video, we're going to be dissecting a brilliant Shopify niche store called Norse Organics that is tackling the acne treatment niche. Now, the acne treatment niche is worth 7.2 billion, or was worth 7.2 billion in 2024, but it's expected to nearly double in a decade from now. I think it's probably going to go up even more than that. And what's really interesting here is that Norse Organics is going into it through a natural approach. They're going through this plant-based natural approach, which is super cool. And it actually is very in line with what we're seeing in other trends like the beef tallow trend. So we're going to dissect this because these guys are just doing things in such an amazing way that there's so much to learn from it. Like, this will be a master class in e-commerce and direct to consumer marketing, direct response marketing. So as you see, they're running 1,300 different ads. That's how many ads they have active on right now. We actually dissected this in the Shopee Lab Accelerator yesterday in our weekly call. It was really cool. And that's what inspired this video. There were some people in the group that were actually from Norway, which is one thing that this brand is interesting for. They are based out of Norway, but they launched in the US last year, and now most of their traffic is coming from the US actually. At least that's the case with the US website that we're looking at. Now, this is their homepage, and as you see, they really understand direct response marketing, right? So let's read some of these headlines. Botanical buffet of Arctic plants for blemishes. Customer reported results after 24 hours. Now, if we click the buy now, it takes you to their landing page, but this isn't where they're driving most of the traffic actually. However, there's a lot to learn here, so this is where we'll start. Now, as you see, the first thing that stood out to me is the image here. The main image that they have has this Facebook comment on it, which just makes you feel, it just makes it feel more relatable and more trustworthy, at least to me. I don't know, you guys let me know what you think, right? Leave me a comment with what you think about this. But to me, this just makes it seem a lot more trustworthy. And, a lot of people aren't really thinking about that. So it's a very clever thing to do. And they're showing kind of the whole buffet of products that they have and they offer. Now, as you see, to buy all these at once, it's $99. So it's not cheap. But if you think about the problem that they're solving, it's actually not that expensive either, right? The acne treatment niche is notorious for being expensive. If we actually look at acne treatment, I looked up the market size again, but if we just look up acne treatment, we'll see, a lot of things that are $88, $169, that's the sponsored result, is $169. So it's cheap in comparison to that. And let's just go back here. I'll show you the main landing page that they're using. But what's also really cool is that they have a subscribe and save option, which is brilliant. This is my favorite thing. This is, the brands that I've invested in. This is what appeals to me the most, is when they have a potential subscription funnel, right? Where you can actually subscribe to the brand. I think that's just brilliant, because what that allows you to do is go extremely crazy on the marketing side of things. You can overspend on marketing without really jeopardizing the business too much, because you know that by month 2, you're going to be recovering all that revenue and more, right? So we don't want to get too deep into that. It's a little bit more complicated, but just know that if you can have subscriptions enabled on your business in e-commerce, it's one of the most powerful things you can do. So they have right here a headline, "My son in tears the morning after using this for stubborn acne." Actually, people do love this product first and foremost. They do get a lot of great reviews. So, I love these before and afters with the Facebook comment there too, or Instagram comment. It's so brilliant because it just makes it feel so real. And I think that's what most of the brands in this category actually lack, right? They go for this very medical approach, which has worked up until this point. You definitely get some authority from that. But I think a lot of people are opting out of the traditional system and going towards remedies that are more natural, maybe more affordable, more accessible, and that just feel more relatable to them. These guys, first of all, do have very unique branding. Since they're based out of Norway, they went for this Viking type of branding, which I think is really cool and unique. They have a lot of publications. Their landing page is basically like a listicle. It's not your traditional landing page. They really go hard at getting that authority, which they need to do, right? Because this is a category, again, that is very competitive, and there's just a lot of solutions for it. But theirs is very unique, and their branding is unique to match that unique solution. These are the ingredients that they have. So they use all these really nice natural ingredients, no heating of oils, no water filler or BS, only cold pressed oils, no pesticides, herbicides, 100% natural, no chemicals. This is all in line with what we're seeing just in the world happening right now with the beef tallow trend, with the carnivore diet. People are starting to really go hard into these natural solutions. Acne sucks, we don't. They also have a very clear brand voice, which is awesome. I think a lot of brands lack that. And of course, if you're just somebody that's, launching a dropshipping product, you're just testing products, these are things that are not entirely relevant to you. But as you do start building up your business, you should think a lot about the brand voice that you're projecting and, how you're actually appealing to customers. Like, who are you targeting, right? Like, who is the actual customer persona so that you can cater your brand around that, or start catering specific landing pages around that, which they do. So if we scroll down, this is just their normal product page, although it's not a normal product page at all. It's extremely well done. But this is the advertorial that they're driving a lot of these ads to, and we'll dissect some of the ads because they're absolutely brilliant. And if you just watch till the end of this video, you'll probably learn so much from just looking at their ads. But this is the main landing page that they're driving to. It's an advertorial page, and it says today only, acne sales save 40%. Of course, it's not today only. I've been, I reviewed this with the Shopify Lab community yesterday, and it's still on today. So this is just a classic sales tactic. Number one most sold acne treatment for teens. That is really a powerful statement, and clearly we know who they're targeting here: teens and their parents, which is kind of a big key here. If you want to solve problems for teens, it's a good idea to target their parents, of course, because the teens don't really have the money to buy them, although that's not entirely true anymore. A lot of teens have some money now. But one thing that's interesting is, they're really catering this very specifically to that target demographic, using this less than 1 week, and you can see some really good results, life-changing. I was very skeptical. They're kind of doing some objection handling through the reviews that they're getting from the customers. And this is something that I talk a lot about, actually. Let me go here to Smart Reply, because what we can do is we can use a free tool and we can look up Norse Organics. Okay, so it'll load Norse Organics. And then we can analyze their Facebook page, and we can find a ton of their comments and do like a comment analysis. People sleep on the comments that they're getting, and obviously these guys are not. They understand extremely well how powerful it is to not only analyze your comments and to highlight your comments, but to make marketing around those comments. And if you're a dropshipper, right, for example, and you're ripping reviews from other people and things like that, you can actually learn a ton from those reviews. Like, I urge you to really take a look at the reviews, because they'll tell you exactly what you need to say in your ads, what you need to say in your landing page. And these are things that nobody really talks about, but it's super important. So that's why I love the Smart Reply Facebook AI comment analysis tool, because we can really use any page here and get a thorough comment analysis. So as you see, we've analyzed a total of 600 comments here, and we see the main pain points are confusion about makeup removal with limited face wash use, uncertainty on product usage frequency and routine. So these are things that they can definitely improve upon, right? Like, people are wondering, like, how often should they use it? They're really talking a lot about how effective it is, but they're not necessarily talking so much about how you should use it. Basically, we see this a lot: lack of clear instructions. But let's take a look at the ads, because this is, in my opinion, where we can learn a lot as well. So of course, the market you pick and how you approach it is extremely powerful. It's the foundation of your business, but how you market it is equally as powerful, right? I would say product is 50% of the equation, and the distribution and marketing is the other 50%. So if we take a look at some of the ads here, they have some really, really good ads if we go further down. So they're doing a lot of static ads where they're calling out very specific things. This one is one that stood out to me a lot. So it's Accutane is not your only option. So guess who's going to engage with that? It's somebody who suffers from severe acne, right? Because Accutane is a medication that helps you solve that. So they're saying, hey, that's not your only option. And that's all they're saying, right? They're not really going too deep into it. But then when you go into the actual ad, they're driving to this advertorial here, which is stop embarrassing acne in days. That's such a powerful headline and a powerful advertorial, right? Which is one of the reasons why advertorials are so powerful in order to scale, or listicles, pre-landers, whatever you want to call them. They're super powerful to scale your business, because you can get very deep into who you're targeting, right? And kind of control their whole experience. Here's one that's pretty interesting. The ad copy is interesting. OMG, pimples are disappearing after a couple of days. Can't wait for the next few weeks. And then if we click that as well, they're doing the same. Stop embarrassing acne in days. Very, very good one. Now, I keep losing my page. So that's my bad. But as you see, they're going really heavy into these statics, and they're just testing different things. This one you probably can't read very well, but it says relief you can feel, freedom you deserve. Joint relief, or money back. So this one's targeting something totally different, joint relief. So let's see, where they're driving. This one they're driving to their muscle and joint builder balm. So they're also testing new products all the time, right? So they're not just relying on their one product line SKU. They're testing new things consistently. And this is the cool thing about having a brand, is that you don't have to stop testing products. Sure, we talk a lot about one product stores, but almost every one product store, although they start as a one product store, they all develop more SKUs over time, and it's the smart thing to do. I love to see that. I actually didn't see that last time I dissected this website, so I really, really like that. Now let's see this one. This one's driving to the #1 most sold acne treatment for teens. Pretty good. And then if we take a look, I thought I'd have scars forever. Really, really clever. I was absolutely blown away. And again, you can make so many of these creatives very easily with ChatGPT these days, with Canva. And I will show this real quick to you. We actually do also provide ad templates in the Shopify Lab Accelerator that you can just push to Canva and things of that nature. And one other cool thing that we're doing is showing trending startups. I think this is really cool. You can see the funding that some of the startups have gotten. This is really good for product development, and just in general, the market trends that we offer are extremely good for product development. Not talking about the mastermind, the one-on-one support that you get from me and my team and everything, but just some of these things are really good for product development. So I say that because the Shopify Lab Accelerator is not just for beginners, it's actually for advanced people too that just want to take their business to the next level. And these guys are a great example of, taking your business to the next level, right? I mean, they're testing so many crazy things. I love this one. This is not a quick fix. That's kind of like reverse psychology, right? Because obviously everybody wants a quick fix, but they're just being honest and upfront about the fact that this isn't a quick fix, but it is a fix nonetheless, right? And ultimately, would you want a quick fix, or would you want, a for sure fix? The skin secret Norwegian women swear by. Whoa, this is an interesting one. Stop embarrassing acne in days. So they don't have a ton of advertorials or pre-landers they're using. It seems like they're cycling between like 4 or 5. There's probably more. I mean, I haven't even begun scrolling this whole Facebook ad feed because there's literally 1,300 different ads on right now. But, ultimately, they're just killing it. We could review some of these ads all day, and we still wouldn't have enough time to review all of them, which is pretty crazy to see. And that's really the secret, right? And that's why subscription products are just so powerful, because you can do this. And even if you're losing money, right, on that first customer, you're still going to recover that pretty quickly, right? Especially if your products work. I mean, your products have to work in order for all this to make sense. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much about it. I was just so inspired by this brand, and the market is so massive. And I do believe these guys have a chance at taking a huge percentage of it, because, this is going to continue to grow. And again, they're not just going after this market now. We saw that they're just going after other health sectors as well. So they definitely have billion-dollar potential. I would love to see them at the billion-dollar level. I don't know if they've raised money or not. I'm not really sure about all that. I don't think they need to necessarily. They're definitely crushing it. But, we've seen brands like Hims, which I want to do a video on as well, totally crushing the game, and they've become a multi-billion-dollar brand. We've seen brands like Aura Ring become multi-billion-dollar brands. So the e-commerce space, in my opinion, is just prime for continuous growth. And I'm super excited to be a part of it. And I'm excited to continue to dissect these things and understand things at the strategy level, and then be able to provide that for you guys. Like, I feel so blessed that I get to do that. So hopefully you join the Shopify Lab Accelerator. You don't need to, but I would love to have you be a part of it. There's other 7- and 8-figure members in here, which is super cool. And I love the weekly calls that we have, and just the community that we're building overall. It's just so fun. So I hope that you enjoyed this. And honestly, that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.